Hey everybody, so this is a new type of thing I'll be doing, top 10s. So if you like top 10s, go ahead and support them because if these top 10s get a lot of support, I can make more of them and you'll be getting content in the future as well. So, top 10 favorite video games. Obviously, your list is going to be different than mine, but I based my list off of my own personal favorites. Well, hence top 10 favorite video games. What do you think it's called that? I also based it off the amount of content the game had, the gameplay, that's an obvious one, how long I've been playing it. So with all those factors have helped me create this list. So without further ado, these are my top 10 favorite video games. Donkey Kong. I wanted to pick at least one classic, and I thought this one fit the name. This arcade game paved the way for platformers and was a change from space shooters. I liked the strategy of how you play it, and the competition in the high scores. It feels rewarding after you beat every stage. Although there isn't much content as the other titles on this list, I definitely think this one deserves at least the 10 spot. Pokemon Heart Gold. I think the Pokemon series of games are some of the best RPG games of all time. With their wide variety of Pokemon to fight and fight with, the use of Pokeballs to catch other Pokemon is a great mechanic, with the legendary Pokemon you encounter towards the end of the game. Heart Gold is the last Pokemon game I would play before I moved on to other games, and I thought it was the best out of all 4 generations at that time. There is 2 different regions to explore, which means there is 16 gym battles instead of 8, giving it more playability than the other games. It has the quality and style of the 4th generation, which introduced many different things such as online modes, new Pokemon, and the great use of the touchscreen. The game is the best Pokemon game I've played, which is deserving of this spot on this list. Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy brings a lot to the table when it comes to 3D platforming, and is one of my favorite titles on the Wii. The visuals were a nice update from the Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, and introduces great new mechanics such as walking around on spheres, and gives some updated Super Mario 64 mechanics we've grown accustomed to. The game also uses the Wiimote to good use when dragging Mario around the level, and even the second player can play using this feature. The physics are great, the boss fights are at the series' best in this game, the power-ups such as B and Red Star are very fun to play as, and the soundtrack is also at its best in the series. This game is worth a try and is one of the best Nintendo games ever made. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. If you asked me what my favorite Smash Bros. Game was, I'd have to say Brawl. The Smash Bros. Series of games is a platform-style fighting game with characters from different Nintendo series. Its titles are some of the most anticipated releases for each console. Brawl is my favorite just because it has the best features in the series. Number 4 is good, but it simply doesn't have everything that Brawl had. Unlike a lot of fighting games, this game actually has a story with great cutscenes that complement the gameplay very well. The story mode alone easily makes it the best Smash Bros. Game. The addition of Final Smash to the mix adds a great way to score against other players. This game is just an overall great improvement from Melee and the 64 release. Everything from the improvement of the gameplay and graphics and the soundtrack to the additions such as Solid Snake, Diddy Kong, and Rob make the game one of my personal favorites and a great game to play. Team Fortress 2. I think Team Fortress 2 is the greatest free-to-play game of all time. I even think it has what it takes to become one of the greatest FPS games of all time. Team Fortress 2 is a class-based FPS game, and the sequel to Team Fortress Classic. Team Fortress 2 is an original game unlike Team Fortress Classic, which is basically just a modified version of Half-Life. Its 9 classes feel different and have their own strengths and weaknesses, so if you don't like one class, you can play as another one. Each class has a specialty weapon, their own unique look, different walking speeds. Some characters jump better than others. These stats are all made to balance each class. By far, this is the best class system I've seen in an FPS game. Items, although expensive sometimes, are well worth it. Besides, even if you don't buy them, there's a chance that you'll receive these items as you play. The graphic style of the game is very good for its cartoon style, and it works great with the comedy the game has. If you have a PC, you'll want to give this one a try. Fallout 4. This one shouldn't be much of a surprise. It's a very good game. Although it's a new release, it shares a lot of features with Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which makes the game easy to become a new favorite. The graphical improvement of the game compared to the last games definitely does something that makes this title stand out from its predecessors. It just looks good. Fallout 3 and New Vegas were a bit lacking in color and look kind of dull. This game just looks appealing to the eye. Customization is also a new feature, as you can build settlements, which are very fun. Even weapons and armor can be customized to a great extent, through modifications such as scopes, silencers, and much more. The characters and story are very good and interesting. This game is everything a Fallout fan could hope for, and much more. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Many people may not agree that this is the best Zelda game, and I understand that Zelda Ocarina of Time is a great game, but this is the game that started the use of a better story in the Zelda games and the use of various great items. Also, the map is much better than the original two. I don't think the controls were as good in the N64 Zelda games. In A Link to the Past, it plays how you would expect it to, and is much more convenient for the player this way. I also like the markings on the map to show you where you need to go next in your quest, something that the originals failed to do. The 16-bit graphics and sound are great even to this day. The game is a great title for the Super Nintendo and one of the greatest Nintendo games of all time. FZero GX. This game seems a bit obscure to some people, but I love this game. I think this game is better than Mario Kart Double Dash, which came out during the same era. This GameCube title is the best GameCube game I've ever played. 30 drivers on one track, extremely fast machine speed, the future setting of the game, the ability to drive upside down and around pipes, the challenging story mode, customizable machines, an amazing soundtrack. What's not to like? This game looks better than a lot of Wii titles, and I find it just as revolutionary as Half-Life 2 for the time. Hopefully Nintendo makes another F-Zero game in the future. This game is an overlooked gem, and I suggest you give it a look. New Super Mario Bros. These games reinvented the originals and made them better. Personally, I like all these games pretty good, but if I had to choose a favorite, it'd have to be the one for the DS because of the portable aspect of it. The original Mario games are great classics, and Super Mario Bros. 3 was probably the best out of them. If not, Super Mario World was the best. And the new Super Mario Bros. Games updates the gameplay with new power-ups, level mechanics such as ropes, great boss battles, update in graphics, the ability to play multiplayer on the same screen at the same time is all a Mario fan could ever want from a Mario 2D platformer. I think these games are great and I enjoy playing them. Grand Theft Auto 5. What's not to like? Grand Theft Auto 5 is the game that has many fans and has broken many records through the amount of copies it sold, and its trailer even breaking records through the amount of views it got. It was also one of the most expensive games ever made. It's a game everyone wants to purchase and play for a good reason. The car driving, the combat system, first-person and third-person viewpoints, the online mode and community, the voice acting, all of it is very good, and it's hard to get bored while playing the game. The game is worth playing, and it's definitely one you should have in your collection. So there you have it, my top 10 favorite games. If you'd like, you can leave your top 10 favorite games in the comment section below. So if you liked the video, please leave a like, and I'll try and do more of these videos if I can. And like always, see you next time.